morning, Cyber. Good morning, Lindsay. Good morning, Leanna. Oh, your wife did it too. Is your is her is her blood pressure lower than yours? Starting with Spring Street's the new starting song. This has been decided this week. I think it was Dar who decided. Who isn't actually here yet. Hello, Jordan. That song's called Spring Street. I can't give blood either, guys. A lot of you in the stream know that I'm anemic. Yeah, it would take a lot of prep for me as well, Liana. And I guess I don't care enough. God, that makes me sound awful. Hmm. I wonder if it's the same case with too much iron. What does that look like? What does an iron surplus look like in the blood? Is there a name for that? Like reverse anemia? Is that a thing? Hello, Teeth. I like that username. Are you being serious, Liana? Are you making a joke? To make a joke now because I actually do want to know what that's called. Whoa, it's real. You're not that late, Symphonic Charm. You're only about 15 minutes late. Symphonic Charms. What time is it where you are right now? It's the same time as me. Okay. Well, the stream starts at 9 every morning, Symphonic. So if you're in the stream around 9 o'clock, then you're probably on time. This can be an easy way to tell if you're late or not. If you come into the stream at like 10:30, 11:30, 11 o'clock, you're a little bit behind. If that makes sense. The stream never changes its time that it starts Symphonic. It's like clockwork, baby. Okay. Jordan says, I did blood work last Thursday and I still haven't heard from my doctor. Does this mean I'm done for? Maybe it means your doctor's done for. Maybe check on your doctor. Or maybe that's a good sign. Like the blood was so good that you just didn't feel the need to get back to you. The blood was just that good. Guys, I bought this shirt a while ago and it was really big when I bought it. And I'm so glad I bought it big because I feel like it's not done shrinking. I've owned this shirt for almost 2 years now, and it's just consistently shrink more every single time I wash it. Anyways, so I'm just gonna keep the audio going, but they got to get home from the bloodsuckers. Why does the air feel so good in the morning? What is that? More of this, please. This song's called French Lavender. Do you meditate, Omni? Asked Austin. I do. I don't do it every day. I used to do it every day. Do you, Austin? Whoa. That's cool. Actually, Jamie. Indeed, Jordan. We all made it through another week. Same, Lindsay. It kind of just flew by. Yes, I'm starting to think that joining these streams as Austin while I meditate in the AM can be a routine. So I guess thank you for being so talented. I don't think my talent has anything to do with that. I think that's you. I think that's you being good at taking care of yourself, Austin. But thank you for the compliment. I accept the compliment. Good luck on your exam, Jamie. It's a big Ohio from Ava. Good morning, Ava. I hope not, Maddie. I hope those two quotes came from two different lifetimes. Like, I hope that their creation is at least separated by like 100 or so years. Lindsay's going with the full Ohio Gazaimas. Okay, alright, okay. Oh, those are the Ego Death chords. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna try and do it with the melody actually. Yeah, I have to go up that. I'll figure out that chord eventually, guys. I will figure it out. Thanks, Lindsay. I appreciate the support and faith in me to be able to figure this out. Leanna says Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Kid James has entered. I think Leanna's answering a question that I can't see. Austin says that sounded like the Young and the Restless theme. Oh, which part? Which part, Austin? I've never seen that show. It's a soap opera, though, I think. I'm pretty sure it's a soap opera. I think my mom watched it at some point. Maybe before I was born. Um, maybe before I was born. Crow says there's an Oswald plushie in his closet behind him. There are, there are. If Omni had favorites, Oswald would be. Oh, we love Oswald here. We hate Mickey Mouse in this house. Maddie just agreed. Lindsay, all right, okay. Kid James is here though. When Kid James comes in the stream, it's reflection pool time. But I'm gonna play it with a guitar sound. I'm glad you like it, Kit. Okay, Cyber says the bass line in the rendition of Vanilla you were just playing matches the bass line progression in Chocolat, and I can't help but feel that was intentional, Omni. Oh my god, was it? How was I? Wasn't that vanilla? Wasn't that how I was playing? Maybe I changed it in the second half. The bass line? Is that the bass line? Or at least the motion from Chocolat? You know, that doesn't surprise me because that is the. That is. Remember how I talked about how my bass line and rhythm is always those three notes? It's always the octave with one note in the middle? Because even like for a key line. Interesting. It's interesting. I'm glad both of you hear it. I'm sure it's there. I'm sure it's real. Somebody's asking where my love of Oswald originated. I'm gonna answer that in a second. Austin says, also I know you like cartoons, so I know you get this, but give me your top 5 cartoons of all time, please. I hate cartoons, Austin. They rot your brain. Don't watch them. Austin, are we talking shows or movies? I need more parameters. I need parameters, please, please. Don't just let me fly out there in the space. Give me a path. while Austin's giving me parameters for the person that asked where my love for Oswald originated, it's a pretty long story, but I'm gonna condense it a little bit. My grandma, I used to stay at my grandma's house pretty often, on and off. Like when my parents would go out of town, me and my siblings did, and there was like a lot of like hodgepodge, nothing stuffed animals there, but they were like they looked homemade. You know, my grandma sewed, and I feel like they were homemade. At least a lot of them were. And one of them was a rabbit with blue shorts. And later I ended up seeing. I mean, I liked this stuffed animal. I mean, as much as you can like a stuffed animal. I wasn't like obsessed with it or anything, but like out of all the like the dumpy stuffed animals there, I was a fan of that one. And then later saw a old like VHS recording that had like we had a VHS. We had a lot of VHSs in my house as a kid. I guess this condensed story is getting a little long. And I don't know who recorded it, if it was my parents or if they bought it from a garage sale or something like that. But there was several like old cartoons where it was like Betty Boop, um, Felix the Cat. It was just like random hijinks with those characters. And sometimes it would like cut out halfway through, almost as if it was like taped from like a VCR, like taped from TV, like a live broadcast. Anyways, one of them was an Oswald cartoon, which was really weird because I liked it, but I couldn't find any evidence of Oswald anywhere in the world, you know? And it was because, oh my god, the story is turning very long, isn't it? Um, anyways, Walt Disney created Oswald the Lucky Rabbit while he was working at a different studio, I'm not going to name. When he wanted to start his own studio, his old job said, hey, you can't take this character with you. So, in order to not get sued, Walt Disney would draw Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, but he would erase his ears and then draw them as bunny ears instead of circle ears. And that happened to be just enough to escape copyright law, and that's why Mickey Mouse exists. Mickey Mouse is basically a copyright loophole so that Walt Disney wouldn't get sued for drawing Oswald at his new job. Anyways, the reason I like it is because I like original things, and I just there happened to have been a seed planted when I was really young of like I really liking this character, but having no stuff of him, like you couldn't find any merchandise for him. And then in my lifetime, like super recently, in my lifetime, way after Walt Disney's death, obviously, Walt Disney was able to purchase the rights back from Universal, Universal for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, and then they started making new merch and putting him in things. But nobody really liked Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Like the merch doesn't sell very well because a lot of people look at it and go like, I don't get it. Is it like a bunny version of Mickey? It's stupid. So most people don't buy it. For whatever reason, in Japan though, people love Oswald. So a lot of the things you'll see of me as Oswald for Oswald are usually from Japan. Usually come from like when I tour to Japan, I'll buy a lot of Oswald stuff that you can't get here. If you're looking for Oswald stuff in the States, you have to go to a Disney park. So it's a little bit limiting, right? You have to be able to pay an admission to get into a Disney park. If you go to Japan, you can just go into a random store in the mall and they'll have like Oswald the Lucky Rabbit merch. So that's exactly what happened. I was just walking around randomly, not even hunting for stuff, and I found this shirt and a hoodie, and then I did go to Disneyland because it's cheaper there. It's like I think it's like $60 to go to Disneyland in Japan. Yeah, I bought some more stuff. Okay, that was a long story, but I hope whoever asked that now understands why I like Oswald. Okay, I'm gonna scroll up a little bit because I have missed the other part of Austin's parameter. Okay, on TV specifically, Cartoon Network, Disney, Nickelodeon, etc. just has to be a TV show. It has to be a TV show. Okay, this is going to be a little bit of an interesting question because, Austin, my family did not have cable when I was a kid. So things like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and Disney did not exist. So don't be shocked by my answers that they don't include such cartoons. I guess I'm a classics man. I liked Ninja Turtles. I also want to preface my answers by saying, you said to just name 5 cartoons I liked. I want to say these are the things I watched as a kid, and I didn't have any discerning like quality filter as a kid, so I was just intaking these things. So I'm just gonna name 5 things I watched. I don't know if they're good. So if you think to yourself, "Ew, that cartoon sucked on me," well, it probably did. You're probably right. Anyways, I watched Ninja Turtles. I remember that being a thing for me. Um, Pokemon was a thing I watched. I remember tuning into that pretty regularly. Oh, you said Western, right? I think you said Western, like American shows. Okay, so not Pokemon. Let me go back. Ninja Turtles was one. Oh, thank you, Jamie. I really do try to keep the stories concise. It is very hard. Being long-winded is kind of maybe one of my bigger faults. So I do apologize for that. But thank you for the $5. I appreciate it, Jamie. Thank you. That's pizza money, baby. It's Friday. It's pizza day. I mean, Tuesday's usually pizza day, actually, but um, I won't tell if you won't tell. Okay, five cartoons. Ninja Turtles is one. Arthur. Arthur's a huge one. I still like, because now I have like the PBS app on my TV or whatever, so I can just watch as much Arthur as I want. Like all, I don't know, 52 seasons of it are just at my disposal. I do unironically like that show still, even as an adult. I could like kick back and watch some Arthur. I mean, I have. I did it last week. So, Arthur's big. That's PBS, baby. Didn't need cable to get PBS. Ninja Turtles, Arthur. This wasn't 2D animation. This was 3D, so I don't know if you count this, Austin. But there was a show called Beast Wars, which was like Transformers, but they were animals instead of like cars. I really did like Beast Wars as a kid. Hold on, Austin. Hold on, Austin. Pause on everything. Okay, because Cyber's talking about something extremely important. Cyber, I did see that thing. I didn't know that they were using Me Too. Of course they are, though. Of course they are. This isn't the first time that's happened to me, by the way, Cyber. I mean, you know that, but did you see he was using Ujiko's name and apparently did a track with your name feature too? Yeah, that does not surprise me. Um, People do that to me a lot, Cyber. I was just surprised that they did it to Ujiko because Ujiko, especially in the kawaii world, I would argue is quite a bit larger than I am. Larger? Yes. Yes. People know Snail's House. So wild. Yeah. I'm gonna get on that though. That's funny. I mean, we being like me and everybody was trying to get that person's Spotify taken down yesterday because they were just straight up uploading like Ujiko songs and they weren't Ujiko. And I think people do it to me a lot, Cyber, because I of that cute sound. I feel like if you upload a song called like Sugarberry Dream Pie and you put by Omniboy on it, I just think the track will do better because a lot of the people that listen to my music, especially on DSPs, are listening to like nice dream stuff, and people will be like, "Oh, I haven't heard this one yet." And it can be really easy for somebody to make like a derivatively cute sounding song and then blame it on me, but then take all the money for it. I want to remind everybody for the stream right now, please like the video. It does help me a lot. I will appreciate you for doing so. But back to Austin thing. Okay, Ninja Turtles. Arthur. Why is it so hard? I did watch a lot of TV. I just didn't watch a lot of cartoons when I was a kid. I didn't start watching cartoons until like a little bit later. But Ninja Turtles, Arthur. Western. Cartoon. I mean, Looney Tunes were like a thing. Like they had their little like hour block or whatever, where it was just like random stuff, Wile E. Coyote and stuff like that. I think I remember watching that. So I'm just gonna lump them all in together. I'm gonna specify Tom and Jerry. I did like Tom and Jerry a lot as a kid. So Tom and Jerry, Ninja Turtles, Arthur. This is a lot harder than I thought it would be. I thought I would have to like do a lot of like J-Lo liked Pink Panther. Word. I thought I was gonna have to do a lot more editing for this answer, but it's hard for me to even think of cartoons that I enjoyed when I was a kid. But I do remember cartoons. Like I do remember watching cartoons. Hmm. I feel like I watched the best shows growing up and lesson learned and whatnot. What you played was beautiful. Thank you, Austin. You can skip the question. I don't want to skip the question. It's a good question. I've gotten three. I almost said Itchy and Scratchy. Tom and Jerry, Ninja Turtles, Arthur. I just need two more. There was a show. Oh, this is good. There was a show called Mighty Ducks that I can't usually talk to a lot of my friends because a lot of my friends are either a little bit older or younger than me and they don't remember it, or they had cable so they didn't watch this show. There's a show called Mighty Ducks that was like it was like the hockey team, the Mighty Ducks, except they were anthropomorphic ducks and they had little guns that shot pucks out of them. And I can't remember what exactly they were trying to save. Maybe they were trying to save the city of Anaheim from Northern Californians. I don't know. It was a really cool show for me as a kid because I hated hockey, but it somehow made hockey interesting by making them never play hockey and only shoot people. It's okay, Diz. It's okay. Thank you though. Um, and since I'm on the, okay. So I'm at four. Technically, I only need one more. But now that I said ducks, it reminded me that Darkwing Duck, uh, Rescue Rangers, and there's another one. DuckTales. DuckTales. Now, if you ask me anything that happened in that show, I wouldn't really be able to tell you. But the DuckTales and Rescue Rangers opening theme songs were like a huge thing for me as a kid. Like I remember those theme songs and I judged the cartoon off of them. Like I remember being like, "Yo, this show is so good." I remember sometimes there would be a back-to-back block, where it was like two episodes of DuckTales, or it would be like DuckTales and Rescue Rangers right after, and I was just excited to get both of those songs in, like works of art. Um, I feel like we don't do it. We don't do it hard anymore as far as like cartoon intro themes. I know some of them are good, but like intro themes in general, when you go back and you listen to like the intro theme to like Chippendale Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Family Matters, Step by Step, Full House, I feel like the people that were making these themes really did care about making like a good theme song. And it wasn't just, let's just yell the name of them over and over. Friggin', sorry. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is the one of the catchiest, but one of the least interesting opening themes I think I've ever heard in my entire life. And especially when juxtaposed with the original Super Sentai, like the Japanese versions of those shows, opening themes were so good and so efforted and so unique from season to season. Something about a guitar hitting the same riff over and over. And there's somebody yelling "Go Go Power Rangers" a bunch of times. It's not interesting to me. There wasn't like cool lyrics. There wasn't like verses. There wasn't like DuckTales. DuckTales was a whole song. Yelling "Go Go Power Rangers" a bunch. Anyways, DuckTales was a bop, says Jamie. I agree, Jamie. In a way, it's affirmation that your work is popular and desirable. Aw, Diz, always put the glass half full. I appreciate you, Diz. It is good affirmation for that. When somebody starts stealing your stuff. It's like, hey, if we weren't doing good, people probably wouldn't rob us. I'm sure that's what Walmart says. Curtis says, the Mighty Ducks are fighting aliens who want to invade Anaheim from recollection. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you not only for knowing what that is, but thank you for kind of confirming that they were trying to protect Anaheim. Thank you, Curtis. You don't know how much joy that brings me when I say something that I think sounds crazy and then other people in the stream confirm that it's not. Okay. I watched the Digimon movie on VHS recently. They made a special Digirap for the opening. Ah, yes. They did. cartoons in general have fallen off in terms of writing. That is, I genuinely can't imagine what it'd be like if I grew up today with the media I things exposed, the media I've been exposed or things I've been exposed to. I think I think there are good cartoons today. I think there are good cartoons today. I think that there's just I think everything from yesterday. Let's talk about that because that's actually a really good conversation. I did say under attack from Northern Californians, but Northern Californians are aliens. I'm sorry, Liana. Liana's a Northern Californian. Technically, I'm not even a Southern Californian. I'm an expat, so I'm the alien here, right, Liana? Anywho, I feel like all old things, right? Whether it's old cartoons, or it's old TV shows, or it's old music, or it's old movies, I feel like a lot of people could make a valid but also maybe erroneous argument that it's like things used to be good and now they're bad. Things used to be efforted and now they're not. Things used to be heartfelt and soulful and now they're just kind of microwave pop, like quick, fast, and easy solutions to everything. And I agree with that on one half, but on the other half, I feel like something that isn't always taken into consideration with that argument is that there are just per capita way more cartoons today than there were. Like, I was actually struggling because I said in the beginning I didn't have Nickelodeon, I didn't have the Disney Channel, and I didn't have the third one, Cartoon Network. So I was actually struggling to think of cartoons that I liked and enjoyed outside of the cable bubble. But today, I could spend an entire hour-long stream just naming cartoons that are currently airing right now and are popular with youth, and we would never run out because there's just so many. And I think that whenever you have an issue, or not really an issue, but an instance of oversaturation, you're going to have a wide variety of quality to, like, high quality to low quality. The high quality to low quality is just going to keep getting stretched and stretched and stretched. Because if you have more and more, for example, songwriters, we have more songwriters today than we've ever had, especially being able to share their work with the public. This is more specific to me because I'm a songwriter. Hello, Cryptogenic. This is more specific to me because I am a songwriter. So I think in general, there's a lot of like producers on like SoundCloud and stuff like that are amazing producers. Like they're really, really good. And it's just like I didn't know we had the skill level technically. But then there's also a lot of people that are putting out music that is, I don't want to say bad, but I want to say bad. If that makes sense. My favorite cartoon is probably Gravity Falls. Yes, Symphonic Charms. I think that's the cartoon that came to mind when I started thinking our cartoon's not as good today. I've seen some cartoons that are truly like amazing. Gravity Falls being one of them. Gravity Falls, I would say, as far as writing and in a lot of ways, is more impressive than any of the cartoons I watched when I was a kid, Arthur included. But there's also a lot of cartoons today that are not anywhere near quality as far as writing and even animation as Arthur was. So it's weird. It's like as things become more saturated, you just have a bigger range, and you have to actually look. I think that something that a lot of people, maybe from my parents' generation, that one of the biggest struggles for them is they'll say something like R&B used to be good, or they'll say like this used to be good. And I don't mean my parents specifically, I just mean people from their generation would say, you know, rock music used to be good, or this used to be good, or food used to be good, or clothing used to be built better. And I think that something that we being like a generation, like my generation had to learn, is you have to gradually learn that you have to dig for things. I think that that was something that was taught to us by just having the internet. We have to dig for stuff. And I think, you know, like 50, 60 years ago, you didn't have to dig so much. You can kind of just go to a record store and go, here are all the records, here are all the artists, and then you can pick and choose which one you want to listen to. Today, if you go to a record store, I would argue that that's not even 10% of available music to you at a at a specific time and place in America in 2020. I think that if you want to find good jazz, maybe you're gonna have to dig a little bit for good jazz. Whereas before, you could just listen to jazz, and there would be good jazz there. I've beaten this dead horse a little bit. Hold up, I'm gonna scroll because I haven't been very. I haven't been following the chat, and everybody is dropping the biggest comments. They're not even like three. Hold on, I'm gonna open my window. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to get through all of these. You know what I've been waiting for? Some new episodes of Bee and Puppycat, says Jamie. Yes, another good cartoon. Maddie just wants to watch cartoons. I still need to watch Gravity Falls. Please do, Lindsay. The only reason I watched it is because, holy crap, the girl that told me to watch that show, we no longer speak. She, whatever. Anyways, the only reason she got me to watch that show is because the show is very short. I love watching things that are short and consumable. And, yeah. So, please watch Gravity Falls if you have some time. Austin says, if a person walked up to you and offered $100,000 to play the most beautiful thing you could, what would you play? I don't know. The most beautiful... Oh, I don't like that question, Austin. I don't know. I'd play a flight plan. They're going to give me $100,000? Yeah, I guess I'm playing flight plan. I would just play a song. If you ask me that same question tomorrow, it would probably change. I'd be like, oh, I'll play Spring Street. I don't know. All my songs are kind of... Like, all the songs in a specific range that I have are, like, equally pretty. I don't know who this random person is with $100,000 and why they're asking me this, but I don't think I would trust them anyway. If they said $100,000 for the play the most beautiful thing, there are some other questions I would have. But if we're not doing that and we're just keeping it on the surface, Austin, I would just play, I don't know, something off of Signals, I guess. Ava says, see, the trick is you don't remember the bad shows as an adult, so you only remember the good stuff because that's what you watched. Exactly. It's its own filtering process. Huh, there's a squirrel on the palm tree. Watching squirrels crawl up a palm tree is always so funny to me because there's no way to get down other than the trunk. So if you just stand at the trunk, they're just stuck up there. Sorry, distraction again. Liana says, I felt Bee and Puppycat was a bait and switch. I supported the Kickstarter. Oh my god, Liana, I want to hear more about that. I do want to hear more about that. Ooh. Okay, I appreciate Gumball because it pushes the idea of artistic expression and animation to its limit. I appreciate that. Cyber as well. Oh my god, I didn't realize how behind I was. Okay. That's the myth of the starving artist was born. Cryptogenic, yeah, starving artist. I don't like this. I don't like this narrative anymore. We're trying to escape it. Did anyone ever see the ending episode of Cat Dog where they meet their parents and they find they're adopted and it's very wholesome because it promotes how you can be imperfect and still be worthy of love? I did see that, Diz. However, I didn't get that deep meaning from it. I just remember thinking, this episode isn't very funny. I matured emotionally very late in life. But you're right, it was a really good episode in hindsight. Hello, Andrew Cox. Good morning and welcome back. Sorry, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of the chat, and once I do, we can start a medley. Gravity Falls is too good, says Kit. I agree, it's very good. They also like She-Ra, which I haven't seen. Okay, I think I'm at the bottom. Trudging the garbage of our past today. Uncle Grandpa? I didn't watch that. The only reason I even know Uncle Grandpa exists is because Uncle Grandpa, I think, was like in an episode of Steven Universe or Adventure Time or something like that. He was like a guest in an episode, and I was like, I don't get this. And somebody was like, oh, if you watched Uncle Grandpa, this episode would make a lot of sense to you. And I was like, oh, okay. I'll just take your word for it. But yes, every generation has its fair share of trash. Absolutely. I think it's just that there's more now. There's more. So in order to find the good, it might require a little bit more digging than most people are comfortable with. There are a lot of things. Something that's interesting is there's a lot of things like algorithms that can help you find music that you might be into. Like, for example, but not limited to, the Spotify what is it, your daily or your weekly playlist or whatever, your Spotify Discover playlist. There's things like that for music, but there's not a lot of things like that for, say, movies or video games. Like, yeah, maybe, like, I feel like the Netflix algorithm doesn't actually work when recommending movies that you might be into. I wish we had that with more things in life. Uncle Grandpa is very controversial, says Crow. Um, Never watched that episode, but heard about it. Yeah, the Uncle Grandpa Steven Universe episode. I don't get Uncle Grandpa either. I ran into it once when flipping through channels at a hotel once, and I was very confused, says Cyber. I will never trust Netflix recommendations again. Yeah, I don't trust it. Because here's what I think. Here's what I think Netflix algorithm does. I think Netflix algorithm does two things. The thing number one is it goes, hey, somebody else watched Rush Hour, and then they also watched Princess Diaries, so you might be that person also, which is horrible, right? You know, I eat Little Caesars, and then I eat Daikokuya ramen. That doesn't mean that somebody who eats Little Caesars might also like to eat very, very good ramen. So, that's flawed. And then the other way I feel like it's a little flawed is they just do, oh, this film is a comedy. You might also like these other films that are comedies. I feel like that's just a little too vague. I feel like there has to be something a little bit more specific in the algorithm if I'm going to get accurate recommendations of things that I would actually like. Spotify seems to be doing a little bit better about that. I don't really like praising Spotify because they rob me blind every Monday. Well, I mean, not blind. I can see them do it. Symphonic says Netflix keeps pushing me to watch Friends. Oh, is Friends still on Netflix? I thought they lost that. Or was it The Office? They lost something. I thought it was Friends, though. I'm glad I found your YouTube channel, says Oni Bubble. Aw. I like your username. I've been listening to your music for a few years now, and it's really helped me settle in after moving. Thanks for being you and making good tunes. Oni Bubble, where did you move from and to? While you're answering that, I'm going to play Winter Heart, if that's okay. How can you stream every day, says Symphonic. Well, I mean, YouTube never closes. I moved from New Mexico all the way to Indiana. Holy crap. Oni Bubble, I have so many questions for you. You lived in New Mexico, I'm assuming, a good portion of your life before you moved to Indiana. Yes? God, I'm so happy. Okay. Oni Bubble, if this is too specific, you don't have to answer it. Where in New Mexico did you live? City-wise. City-wise. You live in Wabash. Okay. That's not exactly super close to the city that I was going to bring up. I've spent quite some time in New Mexico. Honey Bubble. In a place called Las Cruces, if you're familiar with that nothing town. I spent some time in Las Cruces. I also spent, of course, some time in Albuquerque because who hasn't? It's Albuquerque, right? But does the city you lived in have a place called Burger Time for any? Does, does it have a place called Burger Time? Or have you seen a Burger Time? Can you please confirm to me that there's a place in existence called Burger Time that exists? Yeah, I meant New Mexico. I was asking where you're moving from. Yeah. I'm talking about New Mexico. Oh, you live in Albuquerque. Oh my god. Okay. No, I never get any New Mexicans. New Mexican? I guess you can be New English. So yeah, New Mexican is a thing. Um, there's a video game called Burger Time. There is a video game called Burger Time. There is a video game called Burger Time. Hold on. I feel like I feel like yeah, no, we're not talking about old Mexicans yet. Or at least not now. Sound like a type of cereal. Omnio sounds like a type of cereal. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Please no one dogs me. Yeah, please no one dogs Polly Bubble. Okay, so while you were in Albuquerque, did you go to downtown Albuquerque at all? Ever? A lot. Yes. Do you know a place called The Mission? It's like a burrito place. Have you ever seen it? It's open really, really late. It might not close. Good morning, Sam. Yeah, I've eaten there a bunch. Hey, um, I got in an amazing fight in that place, and I think that that was the first time that I've ever. How do I want to put this? It, have you ever been jumped before? This is anyone in the street. That was the first time that I've ever negated a jumping, and I was by myself, mind you. I didn't have anybody with me, and I was at that burger place. I think it was like 1 or 2 a.m. or something like that, and I was. I don't remember what they were. I don't remember what they were laughing at, but there was a group of people laughing, and not even at me. And I remember thinking, "Oh, these people seem to be having a good time. I'll just mosey on about my way." And I went out, and they followed me out and just attacked me for no reason. It was wild. Anyways, amazing burritos. If you're ever in Albuquerque, I don't know if this place is still open. It's open really late. Amazing burritos. Truly amazing burritos. Um, that's so cool. And now there's somebody else in the stream that's been in that place. I think I'm excited, Leonard, because I have a lot of memories packed into downtown Albuquerque. I've done a lot of things down there. I got jumped at Mission. There's a place called the Launchpad where that was where my first show was outside of Arizona. That is where there was a band in Albuquerque at the time called Broken Side, and I opened for Broken Side, and one of the Broken Side members' name was Seven, or at least that's what he said it was. That's what he called himself, but like it was like Sevii, like Roman numeral 7. And, yeah, it was definitely fake, but he was a really nice person, and he was the one that took me to Nobody cares about this story. Anyways, I'm so glad that somebody else from Albuquerque was. Oh my god, I remember Broken Side. What a joke. Okay, see, that's why I'm like somewhat excited. This is funny. I met them at Warped Tour once, says Leanna. Oh. Come for the burritos, stay for the physical assault. The burritos are very good, unless my memory doesn't serve me. Unless my memory has served me poorly. It was a very, very good burrito. It wasn't the only time I ate there either. It was just the only time I ate there in the middle of the night. I'm so sorry you knew Broken Side. I will say Kid James. Kid James. I will say. Yeah, it's like Crunkcore. I will say Kid James. Out of all of the bands that I was playing with and like touring with, I was very young, so I didn't actually listen to these bands. What I was listening to in my own time, I was listening to like Postal Service and like Death Cab for Cutie. I was listening to Hello Goodbye, and I was listening to What's the band with the Coheed and Cambria? That's what I was listening to. And then I was touring with these bands that I didn't quite understand. But the reason I was touring with them is because I made music that was like left of center, electronic, whatever. And they were like, there wasn't a Ujiko Snail's House person back then. There wasn't a Bowen back then. So it was like, we don't know what to put this dude with. So just, I guess, put him with Crunkcore. It's cute and weird. So I will say, out of all those people like Bowen Vansler, Jeffree Star, whatever, most of them were awful. But I do remember three people that were actually truly good, like good people, even though their music was trash. Seven from Broken Side was genuinely a good person, like a very good person, and often said like, "Yeah, this music's kind of whatever, but the kids love it, so we're doing it." I did appreciate him. There was somebody that was named Kill Paradise, um, who was also very good. That had that same kind of sound, the like singing music sound. Um, if anybody remembers Breathe Carolina, those dudes were super nice to me all the time. Like, even when they weren't playing a show and we were in town, they would come out to the show and just hang out and like get food with us. So I appreciate them. But that's kind of it. That's those bit like plenty of good bands, but the ones that just sounded like they would kind of suck as people, but ended up being cool people. I do remember really loving Breathe Carolina, loving Kill Paradise, loving Seven from Broken Side. I can't really speak to the other dudes. Seven was really cool. And wow, that's funny. That's funny. Anyways, I saw them at and a Static Lullaby in Black Veil Brides one year. Yuck. Says I the kids comment. Icky, icky, icky. I didn't listen to them either. My friends did, says Leanna. I believe this. I think most people in here enjoy your random stories, says Lindsay. That's a sweet thing to say. I hope that's true. Jamie says, I love to see an Omni Boy Bowen show, no joke. That would be a lot of fun, but I doubt it'll happen. I doubt it'll happen because Bowen like never comes here. And when he does, it's never to play shows. He'll kind of just come and he'll exist here and we'll hang out, but he's never performing, which is interesting. This next song is called Double Lutz. It was named by Liana in the stream. I'm from the streets. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair, yeah. They weren't from the streets, Diz. In case you ever had any doubt, they were not truly from the streets. They were from very, very well-furnished homes in middle-class Albuquerque. Bowen is a mystery to me. Such weird voice samples. Did you see my picture with Bowen when we were up in San Francisco with Eggy that weekend, Eva? Did you ever see those photos? They're all very blurry. Me and Bowen both are like notorious for taking really poor photos, and Ehi takes very good photos. So we were trying to get a photo in which it didn't look like Ehi flanked by two bums in a studio, and it was nearly impossible. That's a sweet thing to say, Jamie. I love that. I love that phrase. This. If I could end every song with one of those. I thought you, Eddie, and Bowen were in the studio together. We were. Liana. Oh, did you ever finish the music you worked on? That's what you were referring to, Liana. Yes? Here's the thing. You know who's in charge when me and Ehi and Bowen hang out? Ehi's in charge. Now, we have all talked at length in previous streams about how there are two processes. There is the Omni process and the Ehi process. Those songs are in Ehi's hands. And again, I'm not going to go into details, but for those of you that know, the Ehi process, that's why you haven't heard that music. For example, I went to see Ehi perform in here in LA. He performed at Highland Park, and I went to go see. And one of those songs was in his set. I was like watching him perform, and I was like, "Whoa! I think I've heard this before. This sounds familiar. Why does this sound so familiar?" And I'm like, "Oh, I made this. Me and Bowen made this. Like, he performed the song, and it made me happy because I was like, oh, so this is what it sounds like now, like as a final product." But those like we're not in charge of those songs. We, being me and Bowen, are not in charge of those songs. I'm not in charge of those songs because if I was in charge of them, they would have come out like a week after we left the studio. And Bowen's not in charge of them because I think if Bowen was in charge of them, they would never come out, period. I think with Ehi, they'll come out eventually. With Bowen, they would never come out. And with me, well, you guys know how my release schedule is versus Bowen. Bowen, for example, guys, has never stopped making music. Every time I talk to that dude, he's making music. But we haven't had like an album from him since Pale Machine, which was what, 2014, 15? Like that would be like if I just had never released music after Nice Dream. Like I came out with Nice Dream and I was still very active, but I just didn't release anything else. His release schedule is so different from me that, you know. Anyways, yeah, that's where that music is, Liana. It is out of my hands. Okay, I finally woke up for a stream, says Cloudless. Welcome, Cloudless. You made it, baby. You're an hour and 15 minutes behind, but you're in. You made it. Adding Bowen into the list of styles a person could be. Oh, somebody who just never releases. I like Bowen, and I regret talking about Bowen when Bowen is not here to be Bowen. Me talking about Ehi feels a little bit better because me and Ehi are like family. Like I never worry about like hurting that dude's feelings or like us stepping on each other's toes. I feel like we just get each other. Bowen's a little bit different because me and Bowen aren't nearly as close as me and Ehi are. Me and Bowen are professionally very close, but personally we're not super close. In fact, that time in the studio, just talking with Bowen, I learned more about him and his like emotional disposition and his thoughts on things than I had in years prior. So I would say Bowen. Oh, no, I can't say that. Sometimes people tell you things in confidence. I can't say that. This video is going to be up on. What I will say about Bowen is I will say Bowen made a very great body of work that continued to be great because he didn't follow it up with anything. It's like showing up at a party and doing a backflip and then leaving. People will remember the backflip. And in fact, over time, people might embellish the backflip a little bit. And people might go like, yeah, he did like double backflip. Or like, yeah, homie was like on fire and did a backflip. It's like, you're the backflip man. You're the backflip man. And you've got like a wife and kids. Maybe you do front flips now. Maybe you don't even know how to do a backflip anymore. Things change, but you are forever the backflip man. And I think that's the difference between Bowen's career and my career. If I was going to draw a very unnecessary parallel, is like there are a lot of people that still do think of me as cutesy bop dude, like Caro Bonito, I guess. But then people that actually actively listen to me will find this, shifts and switches here and there. They'll see that there's maybe a little bit more to it. However, with somebody like Bowen, even if you did pay very close attention, it's very hard to not associate Bowen with songs like Miss You, you know. It's hard for somebody to say Bowen's name and for everybody in the room not to go, oh yeah, sue me, oh yeah, sue me, even though he's not singing in Japanese anymore. He's since departed from that, like, cutesy, I'm going to speak just Japanese in a verse. Like, he doesn't do that anymore. But it's impossible not even to see Bowen spelled in katakana because that was his thing, you know? In the same way that all of Nice Dream had katakana in the titles too, and there was a lot of Japanese anime samples like that in those songs, but people don't necessarily associate that with me anymore because I've just been consistently putting out a wide variety of things. And there, there's pros and cons to both of these approaches to music, but I think that most of the people that are like seen as the obvious collaboration where it's like, oh, Omni, I really want to see you work with I really want to see you work with Bo, and I really want to see you work with, whoever. You have to take into consideration that a lot of the people that were part of that wave. Now, Ujiko does still sound the same. Props to Ujiko. He just took that sound and style and he like grew it. But there are a lot of people who just stopped there, in that kawaii-based world. They're like almost like frozen in ice, and it's hard to reach some of those people sonically. It's hard because I can't go back there. I made a song yesterday. Again, the OBS stream is probably coming next week, guys. Probably coming next week. That's solid. So, for the OBS stream, I probably will show some of these songs I'm working on, and one of them does have some similarities to like old Nice Stream stuff. But no matter how hard I try, I'm never going to be able to get Bon Bon again because I know things now. Things that prohibit me from doing Bon Bon. So, yeah, I feel like in general, I can't get back there to a sound that people would enjoy in like a Pale Machine Bowen way. I think that when a lot of people, I'm not saying you guys do this, but I'm saying that when a lot of people say, oh, Omni, when they say, oh, Omni, you gotta work with Bowen, I think what they're hearing is they're hearing Nice Dream meets Pale Machine, when in actuality, what Omni working with Bowen would sound like today is not that, He doesn't sound like that anymore, and neither do I. And so it would actually be a completely different, maybe we wouldn't even be sonically compatible today. For example, the song that me and Bohan made with Ehi doesn't sound like Nice Dream, it doesn't sound like Pale Machine, and it doesn't sound like, it does sound like Ehi. I mean, Ehi sings, so it's hard to, like, not sound like Ehi if he's singing. I want to see OBS, baby, says Cyber. Me too, Cyber. Me too. Okay. I think I did it. Original beat stream, please. Liana says, that song makes me think of Omocat's game that still hasn't come out. Yeah, it was in the trailer for that game. It really bums me out how many people learned about Bowen through that game that's not out. You're not the... This stream isn't the only place where I've heard people go like, yo, I wouldn't even know who Bowen was if it wasn't for the Elmori game. And I'm just like, wow. I didn't realize I did that much for him. I found out about Bowen from a Japanese DJ, actually. A Japanese DJ used to put up mixes. And he had, I think it was I Miss You by Bowen in one of the mixes that he put up. Anywho, we had double Lutz out of the way for Leanna. We got it done. We did it. I do want to figure out how to play... Ego Death. quickly look up that chord, the MIDI of it, for that goes. It just has a different chord right there. I mean, I know that's the bass note of it. So. It's really interesting to me that you like that song as much as you do, Lindsay, because that song was, like I said in yesterday's stream, it was an improv. Um, I found out about Bowen by listening to you on Spotify, says Oni Bubble. Ha! I win. I win. Make sure you tell Bowen that. Make sure you tell him I gave him a fan. My algorithm helped him. We had it wasn't an argument, but we had like a weird, like, conversation. I remember it like it was yesterday. We were walking to get food, and we were talking about how we found different artists. And I said to Bowen, I was like, I think that you are the reason I have some fans. I think a lot of people listen to your music, Bowen, and then the algorithm recommended them me, or it like led them to me. And he said he thought the opposite. And honestly, I think both are true. But that's the first time I've ever heard it happening in his recommendation or in his thoughts, where it started with me and ended with him. I feel like it always starts with him and ends with me. I think people, I don't know, they wear an Omo Cat shirt, and then they watch the trailer of the Omori game, they find Bowen, and then the SoundCloud algorithm brought up a me track after that. I don't know. And then Caro Caro Bonito and Maxo and Divio and Absurdist and I don't know, PC music, I really don't care. But that is really interesting, Oni Bubble. Is the song you and Eddie and Bo worked on officially released? No. No, it's not released. No. The fact that it's improvised makes it a lot harder for me to play, Lindsay. But it's so simple. That's so interesting that you like that song. I would say that Ego Death borders upon the simplicity of a Lush Dream song almost. It's just those chords. And I purposely played it out of sync and out of time. Well, I didn't purposely. I just did one take. And usually when I tell myself I'm going to do one take, I don't have a metronome playing because I want it to have that kind of loose, feel. But I'm glad that you like that. I'm glad that you like it, Lindsay. I am going to figure out what that fourth chord is, but I think it is. I think it's just that simple. With OBS, are you going to do something fancy? Nah, probably nothing fancy. Maybe we can eventually get to fancy, but I'm trying to just have something stable right now. And then once, if it works stable and it's not like an absolute nightmare filled with technical errors and glitches, then maybe we can try to make it a little fancy, huh? Jayla says, the same thing happened to me. I found you from Venomade, and then found out about Ehi from you. Guys, I'm a tree. Do you guys get the Mother Willow reference? You guys saw Pocahontas. I refer to myself as Mother Willow because of my hair recently, but I do think that I'm like a trunk because I've worked with a lot of people that don't particularly even belong in the same scene, and I think that if you listen to my music, you might find out about Ehi and you might find out about me and Gladstone, who technically both live in New Jersey, but never work together, and otherwise are kind of unacquainted, I guess, unconnected musically. Or you might find out about Abby Press and find out about Moist Breezy and Fuge. All of these artists never work together. I think I'm a tree. I'm the tree version of that. Also, the ambiance, says Lindsay. Lindsay's really into ego death. It is right after Vanilla, though, in the. What's funny is they. You know what's funny about that? Lindsay, do you know why it's after Vanilla? It's pop quiz time. My face itches. That's why, because that fifth chord. One, two, three, four, five. The last chord of Vanilla is the first chord of Ego Death. And that's why they're lined up like that. That chord right there. Also, that chord's in a lot of stuff, but specifically, that's why it's after Ego Death. Today we're doing Let's Play of the Piano. Trying to beat my personal best today. That's what I'm going to open all my OBS streams with this. Yeah. The second chord from Vanilla. Anywho, there's a few different things. There's a few different things inside of Ego Death. Maybe when I do my OBS stream, when I actually have FL Studio open, I can like go through all of them. But there are a lot of things I put inside of Ego Death. Less so in Quick Breath, because Quick Breath, but still some in Quick Breath. I would say maybe like 10 in Quick Breath, and like 15 plus in Ego Death. There is a lot of things that I put in specifically for the flow of track to track and to mirror their antithesis on Quick Breath. Things tonally, things arrangement-wise, things time-wise. There are a few time marker things. I don't know. Really stupid stuff that is very important and obvious to me that probably isn't as evident to other people that listen to the music. I know that people, that especially if you don't know the chords to the songs, or you don't know how to play them on piano, hearing Vanilla and that's not how hearing that, and then hearing those chords might not sound the same to you. But yeah, maybe if the OBS stream is as stable as we all hope, we can get into the grits in the live stream. Don't I have a pan flute on here somewhere? Why isn't it with the brass? We all know pan flute's brass. Sounds like Donkey Kong. does sound like Donkey Kong. It says symphonic. It does sound like Donkey Kong. I think there are pan flute sound fonts though in Donkey Kong. In case anybody was wondering, Donkey Kong Country specifically. I can't speak to Donkey Kong 64. The music wasn't by David Wise, and if I'm gonna be honest, it showed. But Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze was by Dave Weiss again. I think that's his name. Pretty sure that's the name of the guy that made the music for Donkey Kong. Last stream was Banjo Vibes. I guess whose song is left for pan flute? I guess Cybers. Oh, that also sounds like Donkey Kong. I'll do that. I'll do that. Symphonic, are you using the term waifu unironically? See, even Lindsay stopped you. I never played Dire Dogs. Was it good? Tony? I'll see you on Monday, kid. Thank you for being in the stream. good question, Cyber. I can't imagine very long. I don't even think the whole day. Yeah, maybe a couple hours. Do you ever associate colors and flavors with certain sounds? Yeah, we talked about this in a past stream. When we were talking about synesthesia, I associate certain colors with sounds, but not naturally. It's something that's come after using a dog for a really long time. Well, what happened to my lemonade? Oh, I remember where it is. Sorry, Dizzy reminded me I got a lemonade from like a strawberry lemonade from Little Caesars yesterday, and I forgot where I put it. Have you ever considered making a vinyl release? I have considered this, specifically for Ego Death and Quick Bread. Hello, Deb. Goodbye, Omni Bubble. We're gonna start going over news now. The only thing I'm missing for my OBS stream, since we're going over news, is the mic, which I'm shopping for this weekend. And so, hopefully I can get it set up sometime. Maybe Sunday? I need to work on that today as well. I need to do a lot of work today, actually. Today's going to be kind of busy, hopefully. Oh, hey, Mance. Sorry, I didn't see you on the stream. I didn't see you. I didn't see you. Good luck with aviary attorney, Maddie. Assuming you haven't beat it already, or assuming it can even be beat. I have two bodies of work that were released most recently, which I'm actually making acoustic piano versions of now, as per Lindsay's request. Starting with Ego Death. Well, technically, starting retroactively with Ella, but now I'm currently on Ego Death. That one. Wow, actually having to play it a lot is making me like it again, Lindsay. It's weird, you're putting Lindsay goggles on me, because I would say that Ego Death, if asked, I would say that that's the most forgettable song from Ego Death, ironically, since it is the namesake of it, but maybe it's not so bad. I think the reason I put it there, the reason I put it at most forgettable is because it's short, it has no lyrics. Is it the only? Oh my god, I have a command center here now. It's the only song on Ego Death that does not have lyrics. Well, Blessing doesn't have lyrics, so I take that back immediately. Blessing is very good. Now, Blessing is fun. Okay, anyways, yeah, I'm making acoustic versions of all those songs now, or at least the ones that make sense to make an acoustic version of. I asked my friend if he had Guacamelee. He said yes, and it has good music. It does have great music, Leanna. It does have great music. I've only played the sequel, however, but I assume that the music can't have changed that much between the two games. Mance just slipped in here not too long ago. Thank you, Mance, for making time for the stream. The last stream of the week, stream number 156. Cyber says Lindsay loves experimental tunes that provide opportunities for liminality. Is this making a Always Sunny in Philadelphia joke? If that's what you're doing, if that's the reference you're making, I get that reference, so, and I appreciate it. So thank you for that. I'm trying to get it like somewhat even. There we go. That's as good as I'm gonna get it. Okay. That those two bodies of work, Ego Death and Quick Breath, as well as that feels so nice. Ego Death and Quick Breath and The View can be found on California Breeze. Can be found on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal Group, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube. Mance in the stream is talking about Daedalus' new album called The Wands That Will Be Broken, I believe it's called. tripped me out when I put it on. Yeah, the new Daedalus stuff is like, it's like it's on the cusp. There's a song on the new Daedalus album that's called "You and Me," and I'm glad that it was the first song I heard from the album, because I think if I just listened to the album at first, it might have been really jarring. But "You and Me" is very, very good. "You and Me" is very. Oh, there's a spider. There's a spider doing its thing. Um, "You and Me" is very, very good. Hold on. Look at him go. I thought he was gonna come in for a second, but I guess not. He's gonna stay blurry. Anyways, um, I had to take two. I had to take two out of my bed yesterday. There are spiders in the bed, but I think we're good now. Um, okay. Please go listen to Daedalus's new album. This is free promotion. It is very interesting. It might be jarring for some of you, for sure, especially if you're going to it after hearing all these chords. I don't think I heard three chords in the entire album, but Jamie says heck no. Jamie does not like spiders. Maybe. I don't mind them. I feel like this is the season for them. Usually, I find a lot in my apartment around this time of year. So, I'm ready for them. I do like me a good spider. Okay, we've gone over the platforms. That's where you guys can hear my music. As far as merch and tours and shows and all that stuff, we're still on hold. We're on hiatus right now. Isn't that funny? Everybody's kind of on hiatus right now. So, I'm following suit. This is the last stream of the week, so I will see all of you guys in Monday's stream. Stream number 156. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna get that OBS stream up and running for you guys. One of the things that kind of sucks about streaming in my room is I can't really get front lit because my computer faces mad windows in my room. So I'm trying to figure out a way to not be just a silhouette. I mean, it doesn't really matter my face. It's more so about the computer screen and the sound, getting all that to work. Easy Door likes spiders. Spiders are fine as it is if it's like a small picture of a spider and the computer recycle bin. I like this. This didn't feel like 2 hours for some reason. It never does for me, Lindsay. It never does. Easy Door does have a snail phobia. Please never show a snail on the stream, Omni. You're in luck. They don't seem to be in high supply here in Los Angeles. too dry or something. So yeah, probably won't see too many of those in the stream. Maddie, thanks for the stream. Is telling everybody to have a feathered Friday. The parrots are back, Maddie. Uh, Maddie knows this, but if you don't, because you don't come into too many streams, there are a lot of local parrots that'll sometimes interrupt the stream, and they're back. So I will have a feathered Friday. Thank you. Mance. In our old house, we used to have spiders in the basement windows. We let them chill there because they caught all the bees. Yeah, screw them. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Jamie. I feel rude if they wave at me first. They can't. I can't just stare at them. That would be weird. So I have to wave back. Isadora, my best friend, is a snail fanatic. So that's interesting to me. Both are interesting. Being afraid of snails and being a fanatic of snails is interesting to me. This is not a snail house. Oh my god. Cyber's making an Ujiko joke. Wow, that... Very, very apt, Cyber. Okay, everybody, thank you for being respectful to me and polite to each other. I do appreciate it. Hopefully we can get some cool things going on the OBS stream that I've been talking about so much. And that will happen next week. Until then, have a decent weekend. Take care of yourselves. Applebee's is open. They've opened up their dining room. I don't particularly care for Applebee's, but if you're an Applebee's fan and you are really itching to get back out into a place that's allowing you to dine in again, maybe Applebee's is the answer for you. Maybe a blooming onion is what you could do this weekend. Gary's okay. Gary's whatever. Good luck with work today. Thank you, Lindsay. A snail is just a smug slug, says Ava. I'm gonna go make some breakfast. I am quite famished. I'll see you guys for stream number 157 on Monday. Abo, everyone.